Good evening and welcome again, ladies and gentlemen, to another night of NGS action. We are in season 11. We are going back tonight to week 6, a matchup in Division E East between two teams who are trying to duke it out for a shot in their playoffs to keep their playoff hopes alive. Tonight, we have FC Hong Kong going up against Team Ionic, both in the Division D East bracket. Looking at these two teams, I've had the opportunity to cast FC Hong Kong several times in the past, back when they were, I believe, in the finals, made it all the way to the finals in Division E last season, where our runners up had an awesome series up against the core bouncers in the finals there. And so being moved up to Division D this season, they had a little bit of a rough start, but then I heard they did a little bit of swapping and they have come on strong here in the second half of their season, getting a couple of good domination wins. So we'll see if they can keep that one going against Team Ionic. Meanwhile, Team Ionic, I don't know that much about. I don't know if they're a newer team or not, just potentially having a name change, but I don't know a lot about them. Looking at some of their members, I just haven't had the opportunity to play or cast very many of their members. So it's going to be fun seeing a new team in action tonight, going up against a team, one of those veteran teams that have been around for a while. So this is going to be a replay cast. There is a little bit of a delay. Welcome everybody who are starting off in chat. We had a busy night last night with our replay cast. Last night, another Division D matchup. Tonight, we hope to see some of that same fiery spirit going on in the chat. It was a great series last night. Looking forward to one tonight as well. Getting over to the maps, you can see where we're going to go for this series. So I don't know who picks map. I don't know who gets first pick. So I just am not going to say who picked it. I'm just going to go with it was picked by somebody and somebody else got first pick, and we'll just talk about the drafts when we get the game loaded. But we can see the bans coming out. So FC Hong Kong banned out Braxis Holdout and Volskaya Foundry. Meanwhile, Team Ionic banning out Alteric Pass and banning out Towers of Doom. So the first map we are going to go to is going to be that Tomb of the Spider Queen. Gonna be that super small map where there's a lot of fighting over a small area, and I really like this map just because there's a lot more scrapping going on, a lot of team fight potential. Geo, nice, but let's be honest, we got our tails kicked first 5 games, Black Stormer. But after our last roll swap, I feel we're getting settled. Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much confirming everything that I've heard about FC Hong Kong so far. Is it was a little rocky to go to start off, but it's coming in strong here this second half of the season. So we'll see how they end up coming out of this one. I think Team Ionic's like the number 7 seed going into this match, and FC Hong Kong was like the number 9 going into this match. So both teams, like I said, vying for that last playoff slot. I'm going to get this first replay loaded up for us so we can get in to this map screen and get this game underway. There may be a slight black screen. There always is on my computer. I promise I will figure it out. You can see the teams starting to evolve. Once I get into the game, I will make sure that we pause this so I can introduce all of these teams. But on the side of the blue team, we've got FC Hong Kong over here. And looking at the comp, they're going with a Varian Leoric combination. Leoric going to be, well, it could be either way. Since they did pick up the mage, I'm assuming this is going to be a Leoric going into that bot lane, that 1v1 matchup against what's probably going to be that Arthas in the bot lane there. Meanwhile, we're going to see the Jaina rotate with the 4-man in the Tychus, trying to clear out that mid and top lane, occasionally get the occasional gank into the bot lane. But the Ana Jaina combination, very powerful once level 10s come online with that nano boost. Meanwhile, Tychus going to be able to shred through this very beefy front line that we see being drafted out by Team Ionic, going with the Johanna and going with the Arthas. So two very, very high health frontliners going to get shredded by the Tychus there. Meanwhile, we've got a Cassia Johanna synergy picked up by Team Ionic. I love that synergy. It's a very good synergy energy to let this Cassia hyperscale into this late game and put out a lot of damage. And then Kael'thas being picked up as the mage player. Again, going to be able to match up against the Jaina fairly well in the wave clear, but he is going to have that living bomb power play. If the side of FC Hong Kong do decide to hold hands and sing songs, they will spread that bomb amongst each other and spread a lot of that damage. And then Rhaegar going to round out this composition, actually going to give camp priority over to the side of Team Ionic. They're going to be able to pick up that bruiser camp and that siege camp in the bottom a little faster due to that armor, that lightning armor that Rhaegar can give, and also Rhaegar's camp clearing pressure. He doesn't have to stay with the 4-man because Kael'thas can literally use one combo to clear an entire wave, especially with the Johanna assisting with the condemn. So Rhaegar can kind of float between the rotating 4-man and that bot lane, see if he can give his bot laner a little more support and help pick up some of these camps. So I like both teams. I really think the early game pressure is definitely going to go over to the side of Team Ionic. I think they have a better early game composition. But when 10s come online and Tychus gets that scaling a little further with that minigun, depending on how he's going to go for minigun, if he goes for the bigger they are, or if he just goes for the extended duration. But whichever way Tychus goes in that level forward, once he gets to 10, can shred through a lot of these targets, and then Jaina gets the nano boost and can really start putting out the damage. I think FC Hong Kong will start to turn their composition online a little bit more. Varian definitely a strong counter into the Johanna, so we will see how this one plays out. That is my analysis. Let's get this game one going. Get these teams introduced. On the side of FC Hong Kong, we've got Tiny Notai sitting on the Jaina, Cake on the Varian, Blackstormer sitting on that Ana, Nematode sitting on the Tychus, and we got Geo in the bot lane on the Leoric. Meanwhile, on the red side, we got Team Ionic. We got Stro sitting on the Arthas. We got Hexblade sitting on that. Is that Kael'thas? That's not Kael'thas. That's Cassia. Calvin is sitting, or Colovan Vane, he keeps moving. Colovane sitting on the Kael'thas, Ara Luna sitting on the Rhaegar, and we got Ragu sitting on the Johanna here. Looking at some of these talents, a lot of scaling talents picked up by the side of Team Ionic, wanting to get their team, sacrificing a little of that early game power that I thought they had to make themselves a little more viable in that mid to late game. So Cassie going to scale herself up. Kael'thas going to be able to pick up the globes, but Arthas going for the bruiser build, going to try and strike up, or get that Eternal Hunger, the hungering Frostborn Hunger stacked up a little bit longer. But we do see an engage coming in from Cake here. Remember, Varian is not the most powerful champion in the early game, considered a glorified AI. Kael'thas does punish the dive in, gets the final blow with the Flame Strike, and that will be first blood going over to Team Ionic. Varian just doesn't have the strongest kit until he gets to that level 4 and can lock a target down. We do see the Johanna and Cassia committing to the Jaina, and that is a very, very quick kill onto the Jaina as well. That synergy burst coming out of those two. Kael'thas able to put down the Flame Strike Living Bomb to add a lot of burst. And this is still a significant amount of burst damage that FC Hong Kong have to respect going forward. Thankfully, the death timers are short. Varian already all the way back. Jaina running herself back as well. So they will be able to get themselves back into this rotation fairly quickly. Geo should have the advantage here in this bot lane. Arthas gonna take a little bit longer to scale up. Arthas probably gonna go for that auto attack build, try and get the scaling on the level 7, the consecutive attacks, and get the increased attack speed on the level 4. We'll see how he plays it out there, but he will be able to start putting out some serious damage, get a little bit better off in the bruiser fight there in the bottom lane. But we do see, here we go, talking about it earlier, Rhaegar going to give that extra camp play, and we see Team Ionic picking up the bruiser camp fairly quickly, a 2-minute camp pickup. We do see FC Hong Kong rotating over to go start theirs as well, but good rotation so far coming out of the side of Team Ionic, getting this camp picked up, getting the pressure in all the lanes, but look at the experience gap. It's only about a half level so far. The gank going down onto Geo, able to get himself away with the Wraith Walk. Kael'thas not able to secure that kill, sitting on about 6 stacks of mana so far. Varian at 9 of 25 on Lion's Maw, so doing a fairly good job at making sure he gets those stacks off. 32 to 24 is the gem count right now, but the camp pressure is continuing to come out from Team Ionic, trying to get this map as red as they possibly can. Geo on the Georic coming out of Blackstormer. Love to see it. doing a fairly good job so far, staying safe. He's had a lot of pressure put on him in the bot lane. We got a 4-man now right on the Georic, and so we will see this siege continue, but a nice sleep onto the Rhaegar. Jaina able to land the Blizzard, but doesn't follow up with the Cone of Cold, so Rhaegar just able to get himself away, but we do see a good 5-man rotation. The taunt is available this time, but Johanna popping the Iron Skin to make sure that she is not that target getting taunted. Arthas rotating up, going to be in the 4-man. He's not going to get the passive stacks on his D skill there, so he needs to get back down, sit in somewhere to fight, let Kael'thas be the one to clear out those minions. Now he's rotating back down, going to go and try and get that Frostmourne Hunger stacked up a little more nicely. We do see the Varian trying to find some sort of pick, holding onto that taunt, maybe getting it playing around the Johanna Iron Skin. He's got 20 seconds to do so, since Johanna did take the reduced cooldown at level 1 on the Iron Skin there, so she will be able to pop that a little bit more frequently. We do see the rotation coming up. Nice sleep dart, putting the Kael'thas to sleep. Cassia jumping away in. We did not see the taunt turn around onto the Cassia. Johanna did potentially have the shield glare to blind everybody. So a disengage from both sides. Both sides playing pretty passive at this point. We do see an interrupt on to the Varian. Cake gonna walk himself away, looking for that target, that one fight that he really wants. Gets knocked up there, doesn't drop the taunt yet, still holding on to it, has the living bomb on him, so trying to get away from the rest of the team, and elects to go back to farming some of these minions. Geo still doing a respectable job in the bot lane. He's made Arthas go back and pick up some of this health pool, sitting on about 19 gems. He has a lot of gems to turn in, but we do see the taunt finally landing onto the Kael'thas in the middle. Nice pickup coming in from Cake, getting the taunt onto, he finally found the target he was looking for, gets the kill, and nice pickup by FC Hong Kong right around the time where they can get some of these turn-ins. The whole team's going to go unload a whole bunch of gems. The unfortunate side about being the tank on a map like Tomb of the Spider Queen is oh, nice taunt going down onto the Rhaegar. Rhaegar face checking that bush. That was a mistake, and Varian punished him with the burst damage coming out of the Tychus Jaina. Another kill going over to FC Hong Kong. And like we were saying, the unfortunate part about being the tank on Tomb of the Spider Queens, you're the one that picks up, ooh, what's going on here? A taunt onto the Cassia, maybe a possible disconnect, not entirely sure. Don't see anything in the chat suggesting so far. Maybe Cassia was, you know, I don't know, staring at a butterfly or something. Maybe spider scared her on the map, a little tiny spider, but getting caught out there, so Varian punishing there. And a nice sleep dart again. Can they get the taunt? The taunt goes down. Jaina doesn't have the Blizzard available yet, but Kael'thas taking a nice amount of damage. Gonna have to keep a little bit safer. So Varian now starting to come online, looking around, finding the plays, was playing, you know, just a little bit passive early, but the taunt is not quite available, was about 2 seconds from being back up. He puts it down onto the Johanna. She does have the Iron Skin, but Varian finding some plays here in the 4-man. We're seeing the Jaina and the Tychus finally starting to get a little bit of a rhythm there, getting a couple picks, 3 picks in a row coming in for the Varian. And this spider will go down in the top lane. Geo getting some nice pressure on Stro here in the bot lane, and then the mid is just continuing to push. And that is a kill going down onto the Johanna there. Good pickup from, again, a nice sleep dart into the Varian taunt, and easy pickup there onto the Johanna. So good picks so far. The pick composition, the sleep dart seems to be synergizing well with the taunt. Varian's having a lot easier time landing these taunts when the target is fast asleep there. And now we see the 10s coming online. We got the Water Elemental picked up by the Jaina. We got parried by the Varian, entombed by the Leoric. We've got the Nano Boost coming out from the Ana, and we've got the Odin coming in from Tychus. 10's not quite online for Team Ionic. They will be shortly. Here they come, and we have the Sindragosa picked up by the Arthas, Ancestral Healing picked up by Rhaegar. We've got the Valkyrie actually picked up by the Cassia. Not going to go for the ball bouncing, going to go instead try and pick off this Tychus or Jaina and let the Blessed Shield do the rest. Blessed Shield by Jaina, and Pyroblast coming in from the Kael'thas as the final ultimate. Gonna have to be careful on who he puts that target on. Varian and Jaina can both negate the damage coming out of that. Jaina's still a ways away, but a beautiful taunt on Stro. That is a lot of gems being dumped. A good disengage, or sorry, counter engage from the Jaina. A beautiful Blessed Shield. The Pyroblast landing on to the Tychus, so it's a little bit of overkill, but so that means Notai will get away safely there. So it's a 1-for-1 trade so far from these two teams, but we did see a pretty solid counter engage coming in from the Johanna right under the towers, getting the stun and making sure that the rest of the team could jump in. We've got a turn-in coming in for the red team, and they have their first objective. Let's see if they can start to get some pressure in one of these lanes. Varian getting a little too far ahead. Will he get picked off here? He pops the Protect #1. Taunt going down on the Kalstos. Gravity Lapse is available, and the Protect gonna save the Varian. Walks away in style, not even worried. Actually putting more damage down onto the Kalstos than he had on himself in a 1v4 situation. So Cake coming in with the good plays, and now, ooh, a 2-man Sleep Dart. Will Varian find the squishy Cassia? Electing to play safe. They got the Web Weavers pushing in. Not a bad idea. Jaina gonna clear out this Web Weaver there in the mid lane. And in the bot lane, Arthas gonna continue to siege this up. It's about a half health Web Weaver so far. Gonna be able to get cleared out by Geo on the Leoric. The Georic, no problem at all. So pretty good defense coming in for SD Hong Kong. You know, they found 2 picks. Ooh, a nice taunt going down on the Cassia. She's got a lot of gems. Jane is making sure that's not going to happen. Sindragosa being thrown out for the counter engage. Tychus does pop the Unstoppable at a perfect time. Going to get himself away and safe. Varian still sitting very healthy. Looking to turn back in. Tychus putting down a lot of damage. Just Jaina being very aggressive and putting down some pain as well. The damage coming out from Notai and Blackstorm, Nematode are absolutely huge there. Able to turn this fight around and get 2 more kills. So that's 3 kills to none for the side of FC Hong Kong. And the fort will be their reward for this play. Sitting on 60 gems right now. The turn-in is available. I anticipate that's where they will go and set up their next siege, probably in this top lane. Both are available. Most teams preferring to get the top fort as early as they can so they have extra boss pressure. But we're still seeing Notai kind of holding on, waiting to get this last turn in there. Now gets it turned in. So we've got a second Web Weaver phase coming out for the side of FC Hong Kong. And Georic going to the bottom lane, getting the soak for his team. Best thing to do when your team is ahead and you don't have to worry about the enemy team picking a fight quite yet. Get some more soak somewhere on the map. Get that experience lead growing just a little bit more. And now rotate up. Push with the 5-man in the top lane. Big power play coming out for the side of FC Hong Kong. We'll see if Varian and Leoric kind of cut off this path. I anticipate they are. Leoric is already sitting there waiting for somebody, daring somebody to come this way. Nobody on Ionic is even remotely interested. Actually, we do see the Johanna and the Arthas. Georic backing up there. Throws down the Entomb. More of a zoning ultimate, I anticipate, rather than actually trying to get a pick there. Zoning everybody off, make sure they couldn't come up. But the taunt coming down on the Cassia. Ancestral Healing popped very early, so already a big ultimate being burned on the side. Ooh, Sindragosa in the backfield. We'll see if the counter engage can find something. The Valkyrie finds Varian. That's not the target you want. Varian's like, I want to get in as close as I can. Notai, and here we go. Tychus getting into that Odin. The sleep going down onto the Johanna. The Pyroblast landing onto Leoric, but Leoric's like, I can take that hit, no problem. And a nice pickup on the Johanna there. Cake able to get himself a little more healed off. He's got to make sure that the Ionic can connect. And I think Notai actually stood in front and took that one. He was like, no, I want topped off. But Cake now getting healed up, no problem. Sitting fairly healthy. They still got 9 seconds to wait until this Johanna's up. Maybe go down and steal the camp or siege out some of these forts here in the mid lane. I'd like to see the camp steal since they're so close to 16, but Johanna is now available. Now it's a little too soon to pick it up. Maybe a bit of a risky play since they're on even talent tiers at this point. So gonna go down, get the bottom one instead. And go ahead and get these camps a-rolling. They just need their 16s at this point. Like, there is turn-in potential for the side of Ionic, so they do have to keep that in mind. Varian will probably just sit and scout this area out while the rest of the team goes and picks up the Bruiser camp. They do have the waves pushed in fairly deep, so they should have pretty good vision on anybody from the side of Ionic trying to rotate up and get a sneaky turn-in. And everybody showing right now except Cassia. So they know there's no turn-in potential. Anna and Jaina going to go and finish off this Bruiser camp. 16's now online. This is going to be a big opportunity for FC Hong Kong to create some pressure around these level 16 talents. Ionic's just going to have to sit back and wait. I would anticipate the boss, maybe the play that they set up for, since they have the immense healing coming out of the Ana and the parry from the Varian, he could take a lot of damage from this boss. They have the Icy Veins on the Jaina at 13, so she could choose to use it on the boss to get a lot of burst damage down. She pops the Water Elemental, so I anticipate this is full commit mode. No Icy Veins popped yet. Well, actually, I think they were. That was a pretty short cooldown between the blizzards there. It just doesn't show it on my tracker down here. So Icy Veins being popped, it's definitely popped. Those are 3 blizzards very, very quickly. So that will be a pickup for the side of FC Hong Kong on the boss. But while they were doing that, we did see Ionic go ahead and pick up the second objective there. So it will be a Web Weaver phase. It will counter a lot of this pressure in the top lane, but the lanes are pushed so deep that there's going to be a lot of chance for the side of FC Hong Kong just to clear out a lot of these Web Weavers. It's more of a defense Web Weaver phase, which ultimately goes in favor of FC Hong Kong. They will have the next turn in and will be able to play for a keep as long as they can just not die during some of these objectives. Going over, checking out some of this XP. I mean, right now, Arthur's doing a good job in the double soak. Jaina actually the leader in the experience game right now for the side of FC Hong Kong. And yeah, the rest of the team on Ionic just trying to push out, you know, what's going on. Kael'thas has quite a bit of gems. I mean, looking at you know, stat trackers or quest trackers there. Arthur's already done with his, but his will continue to scale with the stacks that he is able to get. Did not go for the Bruiser build, instead going for the sustain, more of a sustain build with the Qs at level 4 and 7 there, then committing more to the Hungering Arrow. So interesting choice with the 4 and 7. Meshing it with what's coming in at 13 and 16 here for the Arthas. Gonna have to look at that one a little closer. I would anticipate the 4 would be increased if you're going heavy into the Frostborn build, usually like the attack speed on 4, and then if you're going into a tough one-on-one matchup, you just get the extra, you know, healing on every 3rd hit that pairs well with the increased attack speed that you're able to get. Can make you a pretty good bruiser 1v1. Not the best for the team fights, but Syndragosa is just the main thing you're relying on in the team fights at that point, and then just scaring off the opposing carries. But turn-in coming in for the side of the FC Hong Kong, getting their 3rd one, and gonna push here in the top lane. Ionic committing to the defense in the top lane here. I'm interested to see if Leoric's going to go just pick up this soak and get these Web Weavers pushing while the rest of the 4-man just plays it passively here. Tries to, you know, get a little pressure with the Web Weaver, but ultimately not push a lot. Looks like they're all rotating to the mid lane. Going to try and push out mid lane while the side of Ionic clears out the top lane. The downside to this is Ionic's going to be able to clear this out very quickly. They're just going to get the towers and then set up a potential 5v5. And this way, Weaver's sitting so far back, she won't be able to add pressure for a while. Syndragosa coming out, getting a lot of members, but the Valkyrie misses and the Pyroblast popped onto the Ana very early. Ana's just going to be able to heal that up, no problem at all. But that is the spider going down as well. So both spiders cleared out, and now this spider making her way over. But the rest of the side of Ionic having a good time here. As long as no squishies step too far forward. Varian did not go with the Shattering Throw. Oh, yes, he did. He did go with the Shattering Throw at 13. So Johanna's got to be a little safe, too. Johanna steps a toe out of line and then pops the Iron Skin. Varian can be like, nope, that Iron Skin's gone. Now you get taunted. And Johanna, without the Iron Skin, doesn't have as much survivability as one would think. She can go down pretty quickly, especially when there's a Tychus who went bigger they are, which pairs really well with the Jaina. As long as they communicate that Nematode's like, I'm going to burn them down to 30, and then you just burst them with the remaining of this Jaina burst and finishes them off. It could be a pretty devastating combo, and it works very well with this double very high health front line coming out from the side of Ionic. But 20's almost online for the side of FC Hong Kong here. Going to be able to pick up the remainder of this camp and start off with their 20 talent lead. We've got the increased nano boost. I don't know all the 20 names. I'm sorry. It's nano infusion coming out of the Ana. We've got the buried alive, the silence on top of the entomb, which is going to be pretty devastating deal with the Wonder Mute coming out from the Jada, the big red button coming out from Tychus, and we got the healing coming out from the variant. Glory to the Alliance, going to be able to get a lot more healing for his team. And they've got their 20s at a perfect time. They got the minions pushing in. If they find a fight onto a squishy, this could be a game-ending fight. They really have any target except for the Arthas, but Arthas throwing out the Syndra Ghost early. They're the ones trying to pick the fight, being down the 20 talent tier. Ana did get Valkyrie'd in, but able to walk herself away, not getting finished off. Nematode actually stepping in the way to take a shot from Cassia, keeping Ana alive in that fight. Huge play coming in from Tychus there, actually stepping in front of the Cassia to take the Q shot and make sure Ana did not get hit by it, meaning Ana, who survived with like 80 health, did stay alive in that fight. So big pickup, 1 kill for nil in favor of FC Hong Kong. Boss is alive again, and they could go pick it up. I wish I had instant replays to show how Tychus just dove in there and interrupted that Cassia ability, or took it for the Ana as well. Awesome play. And this boss should be a really easy pickup. FC Hong Kong just playing the slow, patient game. The one thing is, by picking up the boss instead of pushing with the 5-man, they did leave the turn in play potentially alive, and they're not getting much map value as if they decided to siege with 5. We do see Ionic go ahead and turning in. This is kind of what happened the last time they picked up a boss, is the defensive boss was picked up, but this time FC Hong Kong able to create a lot of pressure in the top lane with the boss. This top fort should go down no problems, probably before the Web Weaver phase even starts. This is a fairly healthy boss, but the rest of FC Hong Kong gonna back off. They know the Web Weavers can cause a little bit of delay, but ooh, the Johanna getting taunted out here. The Shattering Throw going down, buried alive is what Johanna is, and she does get the passive up, but Varian already using the Shattering Throw will not be able to negate that, but the healer did not get a heal onto the Johanna, and so that is actually Johanna going down again. The boss is going down, a 4-man route coming out from that Syndra Ghost there, and everybody's just sitting around because Arthas has them rooted. Unfortunately, no damage able to follow up. The burst from the Jaina Tychus too strong, and a good counter sleep from the Ana means that this is going to be game 1 going over to the side of FC Hong Kong. Well played by both teams. Exciting first series of hopefully a 3-set. Looking at, get the chat out of there. Looking at some of these talents or abilities picked up, experience coming in, the leads. Jaina still was able to pick up the most experience. I mean, beating out Georic by 12. So, you know, not that substantial of a difference there, but getting that extra double soak was huge. Able to get it over the Kale Toss by about 2K. So pretty good soaking coming out for the side of FC Hong Kong. You know, for a 12-3 game, not as much fighting as I typically expect on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Both teams being a lot more methodical in their play, going for camps, going for rotations, waiting to fight around when the objective was being available to turn in rather than just A-ramming, which you can totally do on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Some teams like to just take the let's fight until the kill counts are in the 60s and then maybe the game will end. But, I mean, Kael'thas Cassia, they put out a fair amount of damage. It just wasn't enough to be able to keep up. Ana was able to keep the healing alive there. Jaina going, I mean, this is a pretty, there's so many standard Jaina builds going around right now, fun Jaina builds going around. This is a pretty good one for the Winter's Mute build, going for the Ice Fury one to get that reduced cooldown on the Blizzard. So she'll be able to, get a little bit more cooldown, which may have been why the boss, on that boss fight I was talking about that. I figured the Ice Veins was popped, but pretty standard stuff coming out from the Jaina there. Varian going with just a typical Varian sustained build. I wish I knew more about Leoric. I don't know enough about Leoric. So I'm going to say, good job, Geo. You did a good job on Leoric. I trust that's a great build. On going heavy into the Sleep Dart build, we could see how much that Sleep Dart was impacting the play. Able to get a couple crucial picks, especially in that like 7 to 10 range, where they got like those 3 picks in a row. Anna and Varian were just popping off that combo. Um, yeah, Rhaegar having a rather tough time into the Ana. Ana lands a good bionic grenade, and Rhaegar's like, I can't really ancestral healing you because hello, you have like no ability to heal. Arthas really only able to get 18 stacks, so you know he starting off. I expected Arthas to get a little bit higher than that, especially coming into this build. And I already talked about the 4 and 7 talents, where I thought could have been gone a little differently. But man, oh man, Kael'thas 54. Whew, that is a lot of globes that Kael'thas was able to get, but he went very, very heavy into this living bomb build, which I didn't see get too terribly much value. There are a couple times where their bombs were spreading, but for the most part, I think that more plays to FC Hong Kong's discipline, able to keep themselves spread out. Cassia getting herself stacked up, going for the Valkyrie though, was able to get a couple picks, especially that one onto Ana in that later game. But Tychus coming in, like I already talked about that. Tychus coming in huge, and then Johanna, fortunately, not able to finish the subdue quest. Pretty tough against this team comp. Tychus and Jaina can stay pretty spread out there with the Ana in the backline, so it's hard to get 4 people bundled up together unless Arthas was able to land like a great 4-man route and then she could land the condemn. But pretty standard stuff for the rest of the way coming out of the Johanna player there. So awesome. Game number 1. Let me get these updated. We don't know who picked it, but we know who won it. FC Hong Kong, gonna give them their point. And whoop, that's not where I wanted to go. Let's head over to the map screen. We can see where we're gonna go for game number 2. I don't even know. I am just so excited to see where we're going to game number 2. I don't look at these things at all beforehand. Game number 2, we're going to be headed to Dragonshire. I'm glad neither of these teams are playing my team because we literally banned Tomb of the Spider Queen and Dragonshire every single game. And those are the 2 that are being played here today. So, nope, sorry. There was no winner. I'm calling that early. I just hit copy and it's copied everything over. We got to wait to see who wins this one. We could go to a game 3. But Dragonshire gonna be that next map. Let me check the chat real quick to see if I missed anything. Sorry, there is a small delay on this stream. There shouldn't be because there's nothing really to worry about. People sniping, but I did put it on a little delay. So sorry if I'm missing a couple things here. Looks like Gio just talking about his amazing Leoric play. And then, Black Storm was saying could be the Ice Fury 1 cooldown. I'm guessing that was in comment when I was talking about the boss play there. Feel bad for the opposing support. Rhaegar feels so bad to play into yeah. Social distancing for a year pays off. There we go. That is the highlight of the night right there. Absolutely. FC Hong Kong doing a great job of practicing their social distancing, making sure that they don't get anywhere near each other to pass those living bombs. I love it. That's absolutely hilarious. And then more surprised, Arthas didn't go the Q at 16. I've seen the trait 1 and 13 with Q build before, though. Yeah, I found it really like I'm curious. It seemed like he committed to 2 different builds there and kind of just tried to mesh them together. Like I said, I don't want to knock it. I play Arthas a ton, but I'm curious to see like how that would work out. I want to go look into that build, like put all those talents out and look at them together to see where the synergy lies. Maybe it's just an all around, like I just want to keep alive, but I expected him to go heavier into that, especially since he went Syndragosa. Like if you can land the Syndragosa and then your W on top of it onto the backline, you have a pretty free access as long as you don't get caught by the Entomb. Varian's probably not going to taunt you. He's looking to taunt somebody in the backline. I mean, he could taunt the Arthas and slow the Arthas down, but Arthas should be able to get into that backline and keep the Tychus and Jaina away a little bit easier. But then maybe he was scared about the potential, healing reduction coming out of Ana. So that's the fun thing about this. We can question these all day and meta pick ourselves all the way until midnight. But let's get this game number 2 loaded up real fast. Getting into the game and looking at some of these teams. Phoenix. I'm ready for this one. I love Phoenix games. Whoops, zoning off there. All right, let's go talk about these comps real quick. So coming in, FC Hong Kong rolling back the Leoric, but getting the Mei and the Stukov this time, stealing the Cassie away and going with the Li Ming. So Mei is going, Leoric's going to be up in the top, or I'm guessing this is another Georg. Yep, this is another Georg. Going to be up in that top lane fighting over the top objective. Mei going to be able to get some really good picks around the objective. It's a very small area, and so Mei can get some critical slides into knocking people back into her Blizzard. Stukov will be able to silence those targets, so they've got a lot of pick potential, and they've got the champion that they want with the pick potential in the Li Ming. Cassie is going to be able to put down quite a bit of burst damage, but Li Ming looking to get that reset off of whoever Mei is making the pick around, and then just play around that. So that's pretty much their strategy going into this game. The side of Team Ionic, rolling the Johanna yet again, going for the Artanis into the Leoric. I'm not super familiar with the off lane matchups terribly, but I think that is heavily favored in Leoric. I would imagine if Leoric just goes for the drain, he should be able to out-sustain an Artanis no problem. So we'll see how that plays out, but from the limited knowledge I know, I'm pretty sure Leoric wins that matchup pretty handedly. So we'll see how that affects Artanis, whether he wants to go like try and get some camps or just do the double soak. But Leoric can double soak really well too. So I'm curious to see how that Leoric Artanis matchup is going to go. Malfurion gonna be able to disengage a lot of the engage coming in, going to be able to put down the silence, and has the potential sleep pick potential if he goes with sleep at level 1. I don't know what he's going yet here, but we'll be able to get that playmaking potential with the Blessed Shield, and they've got a lot of damage to throw down on top of it. Phoenix Orphea, very, very scary single target burst damage that can come out of both. Phoenix can throw down the Q if he goes into that W build or the single target build. He can put down a lot of hurt onto one target, and they're two very, very squishy targets. He can even put down a lot of pain onto the Mei later in the game, and Orphea thriving at single target burst. So if they can find these picks with the Malfurion root, sleep, and then Johanna getting the Blessed Shield, they can get a lot of single target burst there as well. Orphea probably more than likely going to go for Crushing Jaws, but we will see. That's enough analysis of these two teams. I like what I'm seeing. It's going to be a fun game number 2. Let's get this game started. On the blue side, we've got Tiny Notai sitting on the Li Ming, Blackstormer on the Stukov, Nematode on the Cassia, Cake sitting on that Mei, and we got Georic here in the bot lane on a very purple unicorn. Meanwhile, on the side of the red team, we got Team Ionic, Ara Luna doing some twirls on the Malfurion, Ragu on the Johanna, Colavane on the Orphea. We got Hexblades on the Phoenix, and Stro sitting on that Artanis. Whoops, didn't want to do that. Going back to this mid lane. Now you guys got to hear the announcer because I accidentally hit 1 instead of control 1. We've got some talents coming online. Cassie gonna stack herself up again. Li Ming gonna get that extra mana regen when a globe is picked up. Meanwhile, Artanis going to the Executioner, gonna try and stack up as best he can against the Leoric. We'll see if that does help him in that off-lane matchup. In a later game, maybe Malfurion did go for the roots at level 1. Johanna getting that Iron Shield again. Phoenix going into the W, gonna get more damage after every third auto attack there. Orphea going with the standard passive at level 1. It's gonna have some pretty good self-sustain coming out from the Orphea there. But it looks like Artanis already rotating himself away, gonna go and try to just do the double soak game, not wanting to go into the matchup against the Leoric. And the camp already being picked up by the side of FC Hong Kong here, going to get in this camp pretty early. Malfurion and Phoenix going to respond on the other side, try to get their camp as well, and really won't see too much action. The one thing I really like for the side of Team Ionic, if they can rotate better between this bot mid lane, they should be able, and if Artanis has a good time in the top lane, they should be able to out push with the Orphea. Orphea has much better wave clear than the Li Ming, but the Li Ming is getting a little bit of an advantage on this pushing, getting a little bit more experience soaked in their favor. And Cake getting bullied here a little bit by the Johanna. Geo thrown in. It's pretty hard to drain with the swaps going on, at least hard for me. Yeah, it's a good point. Like, maybe it's more of a skill matchup. I always thought, oh, unfortunate miss there. And the swap misses too, so miss for miss coming in from both team members. I guess it could be hard playing around the Artanis dash and the swap. So, like I said, I'm not too familiar with the matchups. I just, going off the very limited knowledge I knew, I anticipated that Lyric would have a little bit better time, but I could be completely wrong. Don't trust anything I say. I know absolutely nothing. I'm just here watching two teams who scrap it out. And Orphea getting fairly low. Cassie diving in, putting the Orphea down pretty low, but thankfully Orphea has that self-sustain and she can get herself popped off. Artanis actually getting the kill here in the top lane. Was talking about the off-lane matchup, wasn't paying too much attention to it because I wanted to watch this and I missed another kill. Holy moly, I'm just parking it here. Nematode getting fairly low. Orphea does miss the W though. Will she be able to get the auto attack? She does, and so that is 3 kills to none. A very good start coming out from the side of Team Ionic. They're gonna get the objective in the top lane. Well, not if Georg has anything to say about it. Actually, Artanis gonna finish it off, finish the channel, but they're going for the camp. Instead of going to go channel the dragon, which, I mean, the dragon doesn't have as much value, so if they can get the camp, this would still be a nice experience gain, but it is a riskier play due to the reduced death timers. The camp still sitting fairly low. Mei gonna be in the mid lane, gonna go and just try and fight over this objective. Leeming still getting the soak in the mid lane, out-soaking the Orphea there in the mid lane. So that is one good thing they have going for them on the side of FC Hong Kong, is they've been able to get this mid soak much better than the side of Team Ionic, which I expected to be the other way around. They were able to finish off this channel here, and we do see the bottom camp being contested, but not quite fast enough. First dragon being picked up by the side of Team Ionic. Gonna start the siege off in a nice turnaround, nice comeback by Team Ionic. Response here early in game number 2. Got beat around a little bit on the second half of that Tomb of the Spider Queen game. Coming out with a strong start here to get this game, this series all evened up. Cassia getting herself punted away there. And Artanis does get himself stacked up. He is getting a significant amount of stacks, so that is one thing about going with that Protector of Ire. He's sitting at 86. If he could get that up into the 300-400 range, Artanis could be an absolute menace to deal with later in this game. He's going to be able to put out so much damage and stick to a target like Stukov and Cassia pretty easily. But the dragon, like we mentioned, really doesn't do a lot with the first dragon. That was a pretty early Warp Prism pop by the Phoenix. Big cooldown being spent there. I don't know if anybody on FC Hong Kong saw it. But able to get 1 tower and the wall, another tower in the bot lane. So 2 towers, pretty standard, I would say, for a first dragon. Getting, you know, 1 whole wall down, or half of the mid and bot wall is going to be a pretty standard pickup. But we do see camp being picked up by the side of FC Hong Kong. Johanna committing pretty much to the same build she did in that previous game. Artanis going heavily, going with the follow through. So he's all in on this single target damage. Wants to really just start scrapping one-on-one against any target he can really find to fight him. But the camp being picked up, this is a big camp pickup by Team Ionic, getting that experience lead growing bit by bit, trying to get those early 10s and make a play around those 10s. Johanna actually going out, catches Cake mid-slide. Phoenix putting down a little damage, but getting fairly low and has to back himself away, no longer having a shield. Artanis and Leoric having a scrap here in the mid lane. And Artanis does land the swap, but Leoric is able to just say, bye, I'm getting out. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Sleep going down onto the Stukov from that level 1 Malfurion talent. But Johanna and Malfurion just getting absolutely bursted down, have to back themselves away. So a good return fight from the side of FC Hong Kong, now rotating up into the mid lane, trying to get to their 10s a little bit quicker, knowing that the side of Ionic are going to be online here quickly. Stukov saying, hey guys, we got this camp over here. It's pretty safe. We can pick it up for our own 10s, and that's what Nematode decides to go and do. Mei actually going in on the Johanna. We got a 4-man rotation coming in. Right now it's just the Orphea and the Johanna. The Blessed Shield comes on and gets popped right away. Orphea continuing to try to put down the damage, but it's Planet Cracker being thrown down by Phoenix. Johanna getting rooted out right in the middle of that Planet Cracker, and that is a pickup for Team Ionic. 10's now online for FC Hong Kong. We got the Wave of Disruption or Wave of Force being picked up by the Li Ming, Avalanche by the Mei, Entomb by the New York. We got the Flailing Swipes coming out of the Stukov, and we've got the Chain Lightning, a Ball of Lightning being picked up by Cassia. Objective is red right now. We'll see if it gets channeled off. Mei trying to run her way back, but Li Ming, one of those excellent champions who could just continually interrupt you, keep you off a point as best you can. The rest of the 10s for the side of Team Ionic, Artanis going with that suppression beam, or suppression pulse, excuse me. Malfurion actually going with the Tranquility rather than the Silence. And we got a nice rotation coming down from FC Hong Kong. It's a 4v3. Phoenix is in the back line. They could just turn around and try and pick the Phoenix, but they're not. They're continuing to press forward, trying to find the Johanna. The Eternal Feast going down. Li Ming very, very low, but able to get herself away. The Ball Lightning is bouncing, and Malfurion get picked up. That's a reset for No Tai, and he's going to try and get some more kills with that. A good 1-for-0. And actually, Leoric is sitting right here, ready to channel this. Artanis is going back for the experience, so this is going to be a Dragon picked up by FC Hong Kong, and just like that, FC Hong Kong is right back in this game, taking the Dragon to the bot lane where they have all the members, and this is something they do fairly well, is when they get an objective online, they get together as 5 and they push a lane and push it well. We saw that on Team of the Spider Queen. They all grouped up and pushed with those spiders, and now all in this bot lane, letting Artanis do the double soak, but having the number advantage. A nice teleport from Phoenix to interrupt the Dragon charge, but that is the fort going down, and Leoric continuing to siege up this keep in the bot lane, and they're getting some pretty good damage. Suppress Impulse does go down, a 4-man blind, but it doesn't do anything to this terrifying Dragon, and he is continuing to burninate away this entire front wall. Silence going to kind of zone everybody off, start to signal the retreat there. Leoric, one of those champions who can get himself out of a sticky situation pretty fast, but they see Artanis still in the top lane, so they could go get this camp, looking like they want to go for the bottom Bruiser camp instead of the Siege camp first. I thought they would have picked up this one and then just gone and get this one. They knew Artanis was up here, and Artanis getting some pretty good pressure up in that top lane, getting the entire wall down, but we do see the invade now coming in. The Avalanche being used to disengage, so Johanna is all alone there. That means this camp is going to be picked up easy peasy. Cake able to walk himself away, and that is a Bruiser pickup for the side of FC Hong Kong, who are about a quarter of a level lead down right now. But this camp should negate the rest of that. Leoric will be able to pick up some of the soak in the top lane and in the mid lane, and that should pretty much bring us back to even Steven. You know, the comeback experience definitely helping out the side of FC Hong Kong here. They're still about a half level down. So maybe I spoke too soon, but if they can get this pick onto the Artanis, the 5-man rotation, the Entomb does miss, but Artanis is not long for this world. The Planet Cracker going down. Li Ming actually backs herself away. Leoric going to go ahead and zone the Artanis off. He's going to come back. You can't go one way and not go back the other. What goes up must come down, and Artanis is dead. Another big pickup for the side of FC Hong Kong. Going to go ahead and see a siege being formed here in the bottom by Team Ionic, trying to push the opposite side of the map. Meanwhile, a camp steal by the side of FC Hong Kong. Good play. They were already in the area. Might as well enjoy the real estate, picking up a camp and taking it for their control. We do see this fort is going to be traded away, but the top fort should be matched easily by the side of FC Hong Kong. And now it looks like a little bit of a base race is starting to form. Siege coming and continuing in the bot lane. The siege in the top lane is being done. The backs are coming in by the side of FC Hong Kong. Will Artanis be able to interrupt this? He does catch 3. He's trying to delay as much as he can. That will give the side of Ionic a little bit more time to get this entire wall. 2 members are back so far, but they're not deciding to pull the trigger onto the Li Ming. They have Blessed Shield available, but electing not to continue. Gonna go back for this Shrine play instead of trying to pick that 4v2 fight underneath the keep. It was a risky play. They had to go for the Stukov. It would have been hard to lock down the Li Ming. They would have gotten the Blessed Shield, but I don't know if they would have had enough follow-up. But here we go. We see a fight developing here in the bot lane. Johanna just trying to delay as much as she can, but Phoenix on the Dragon, waiting for Artanis to get it. The bottom is actually channeled off by the side of FC Hong Kong, and so that means the Phoenix will not be able to get the Dragon that he was waiting so patiently for. Ionic able to back themselves off as a team, waiting for those 16s to come online. Meanwhile, FC Hong Kong looking like they want to try and find something before the 16s do become available. Stukov does not land the pulse there, and the 2-man punish is pretty big coming out from the Johanna. 16s online now. That means FC Hong Kong got to back themselves up and wait for their own 16s to come online. We do see in the bot lane, I mean, this is where Iconic really has to go. I don't think they necessarily need to invade this camp. Maybe they can pick up the pick onto the Mei with the Blessed Shield. The Planet Cracker is not hitting right now. The root, unfortunately, not there, but the rest of the damage, Artanis getting very strong with these attacks, able to finish it off, so they do get the pick onto the Mei. They do not have any shrine control, however, so they're going to have to split off, go pick up one of the 2 shrines, electing to send the 4-man bot. Artanis actually sticking around to be that interrupt. Stukov, look at the damage. He's able to take Stukov almost down to half health with just one combination out of his W. Click W, take him to half health. That's insane, and it's only going to continue to grow the longer Artanis is able to fight in this game. We do see Ionic playing around the Mei Death Timer, going to go for an aggressive camp invade. Artanis is not here, has to clear out this siege in the top lane, but the camp already stolen away by the side of Team Ionic, getting some pretty good experience lead growing. And right now, FC Hong Kong, they're paying heavy attention to this. They know the wall is down. They have an exposed keep. That is their potential win condition. Meanwhile, it's pretty much win condition for both teams in the bot lane. They don't necessarily need the Dragon to do so, but the Dragon will help. A 3-man punish there. Almost got the 4th for the quest to be completed, but the root coming in huge from Stukov, getting the pick there onto the Johanna. The rest of the team able to blow the Blessed Shield away to make sure that the root sticks, and that is a good pick on to the Johanna, well coordinated by the side of FC Hong Kong. And this camp is readily available. Looks like the side of FC Hong Kong gonna try and get the objective picked up here. Maybe then they're gonna go rotate down and pick up that camp once they clear this minion wave out. We got a 3-man campfire in the mid lane. Now they're rotating actually up into the top lane. A huge, long swap coming in for Artanis. The rest of the team rotating up, seeing if they can get a pick. But Gio getting very healthy off of that lifesteal. Stro having to back himself away, and Gio just walks away, no problem. And this camp will be picked up by the side of FC Hong Kong, which will now pretty much even up this experience. It's about, what, an 1/8 of a level left? And bot lane is getting pushed. Here we go. FC Hong Kong recognizing this is very available. 4 in the top. A fort for a keep is definitely a trade that FC Hong Kong want to make. The siege has started. Mei trying to get the waves cleared. The rest of the team trying to backhand Leoric. Delay. Not gonna wait. Expression pulse going out, and the retreat ping is coming in. Sorry, that was a movement ping, not a retreat ping. But look at the damage they were able to get. You know, almost the entire... This minion wave should be able to finish this keep off, right? It's so low. Yeah, all right, there we go. Does finish it off. So a keep for a fort trade. FC Hong Kong will take those any day of the week. Big pickup coming out for the blue side there, getting the keep. And now we are actually getting this channel off. Mei going to go over and start the channel onto the Dragon. This is not going to be interrupted fast enough. And so not only do they get the keep, they get the Dragon. This is a huge play coming in, and they're taking it bot, looking like they want to try and end this through the bot lane. The Dragon, it's an 18, level 18 Dragon, so it is still going to be a little weak. But Artanis has to back. Like, you got to get going. You can see where the Dragon's going. The Dragon's going bot. That means they're going to try and end the game here. You've got to get back and get that extra damage onto the Dragon. Artanis is one of their main clears of the Dragon, and Artanis is nowhere to be found. Now he's starting in the back, but the Dragon's already on the core. The damage is being dropped. Cassia actually getting rooted here. The core is slowly starting to fall, but like I said, 18 Dragon, it's not the most healthy Dragon in the world. The disengage coming out from the Stukov Dragon Knight gets it down to about 91%, and Mei gonna get herself away. A nice interrupt from the Condemn on the Cassia, able to not quite pick up Nematode. I thought he was gonna be able to, but the swap landing beautifully. However, the heal coming out massive from the Stukov, that insane burst healing, or if you're getting caught by the Entomb, and that is actually a pickup, 2 pickups for the side of FC Kong, 3 pickups, and this is a big turnaround. Nobody's dead yet. Can Leoric stay alive? I think Black Stormer just earned himself a nice little MVP title with that absolute massive timing of the heal to get everybody else topped off, and then the counter engage coming in. And unless Phoenix can put on some heroics here with the Johanna, this may be game number 2, a 2-0 sweep going in favor. Don't want to call it yet. Mist and Tombs, huh? What? I have no idea what that means, but that is it. Game number 2 going in favor of FC Hong Kong. And just like that, the game flipped on its head, and FC Hong Kong coming away with the 2-0 victory. Solid stuff all around for all of these teams. I mean, that was an exciting last fight there. It looked like the Cassia, when she got rooted out from the Malfurion, was just dead to rights, got herself away. I don't know how she got away the first time. A little bit of healing, maybe a little peel from the Mei, and then Artanis lands the swap and puts her in the prime pick position there, and then the Stukov healing just pops the passive, pops the pustule, and everybody heals up just absolutely massively. And it's like, haha, call an ambulance, but not for me. And all of a sudden, just the members of Ionic were dropping like flies, all committing to trying to kill that Cassia. And she was able to stay alive. Li Ming got the 1 kill she needed for the reset, popped off for 2 more, and eventually the team turned it back around to get the core. So awesome game coming out. I mean, the damage, again, not a ton of fighting. 11 kills in total. I don't know what the timer for that game was. I think it was in the bottom, 17 minutes. So it was a 17-minute game. And yeah, just absolutely insane. Not a ton of fighting. Again, a very good macro game coming out from both sides. Artanis was starting to put out some damage, actually leading the team in damage, getting some soak. The longer this game went, Artanis was going to continue to gain that much more damage onto those Ws and be able to pump out some serious damage. I mean, even the Li Ming didn't put out a ton of damage. 27 is not a lot for a Li Ming, but all of that damage stuck. All of it was able to get a kill and get the reset. She wasn't just throwing out random Ws to see what she could find and get her numbers boosted up. All of that damage was on a target that they were trying to kill, and it stuck pretty hard there. So, yeah, I mean, talents, Li Ming going into the pretty typical. I mean, I typically like to see this. This is just the all-in, I want to get resets kind of build going there, getting the extra damage on the teleport, getting the extra 2 fire or mirror balls coming out. So pretty much just the all-in, I want to blow one up and then jump to the next one. So pretty good stuff coming in there. Mei going for a lot of sustain. Leoric going for a lot of sustain as well. Not heavy into the wave clear, not heavy into the brawl. Just kind of a good mixture of both to be able to mirror the Artanis there. Cassia going heavy into that Thunderstroke and then using the extra damage onto the avoidance. So going to be able to get her passive up and do a little bit more damage there. Meanwhile, yeah, I'm curious about this Phoenix build. I'm gonna just have to go play and look around. Going for the extra shield capacitor, increased movement speed. So not going heavily into the damage. Maybe just trying to keep himself alive against the dive coming out and the single target damage from the Li Ming, and electing just to play around the Wombo with the Planet Cracker around whoever Johanna and Malfurion decide to combo it off of, and let Orphea be the main source of burst damage. Which this is a typical Orphea build coming out, typical Johanna build, typical Malfurion build. So everything looks pretty standard coming out from both teams there, except for I'm curious about this Phoenix build, and I'm curious. That was really it. Curious about this Phoenix build. Gonna have to go look that one up too. See what I can play around with it. See what I can find. But yeah. So 2-0 series FC Hong Kong, like I was talking about before the cast even got started. FC Hong Kong just finding their way in the second half of the season, coming on strong, starting to turn their season around. I think they have a couple more games left, so we'll see if they are able to get themselves up into that 8-7 position, from that 9 into that 8-7 position, and sneak into the playoffs. Because all you gotta do is get to playoffs. It doesn't matter what your seeding is in playoffs. Once you're in, it's all bets are off. And especially in this Division D East, it's one of those divisions where everybody really has a shot against everybody. Teams have been just scrapping it out. I've seen number 10, 11, and 12 seeds going toe to toe and taking a series all the way to game 3 against teams like the number 1 and 2 teams who you'd expect that just to have a good time. So everybody in Division D, it could change no matter what. Some teams, you're like, this team's got it made, and then all of a sudden they drop the series 2-0 and get reverse swept, and you're like, wait, how did they lose? They should have won. So there is no gimme in Division D East. Everybody can potentially take on anybody any given Sunday, just like football. So it'll be I'm really excited to see playoffs. I definitely think we're going to see at least one, if not two, big upsets in the first round of the playoffs in Division D East. For sure. I've got my hopes set on at least two big upsets coming out from Division D East when playoffs arrive. So looking at those 5, 6, 7, and 8 seeds to take down some of those 1, 2, 3s, or 4s. But that is it for this series tonight. I'm going to go look at, so going forward for the rest of this week, tomorrow night, I have my own personal match, and then I'm not going to cast tomorrow night. Gonna take the night off, hang out with the wife a little bit. Wednesday night I do not cast because I work late nights on Wednesday. Thursday night I've got a matchup and it is a doozy. It is gonna be so fun. I've got deep fried Ming balls going up against Mosley and the Arcanauts. It's a Division E West matchup. This is the first time I've gotten to cast deep fried Ming balls since their iconic meme potential that came out. There was just a lot of fun with a garage flip that they kind of took with something I commented on and ran with it and made some awesome YouTube videos off of it. So I'm really excited for this matchup again to see deep fried Ming balls, who I believe are the number 1 seed right now in Division US, go up against Mosley and the Arcanauts, who I casted them twice last week, I believe, Mosley and the Arcanauts, and they went 1-1 in that week, and they look like a pretty strong team too. They're very, very consistent in their play style. They had a couple of hiccups against Woodley Express, who were able to punish them, but they had a pretty strong showing against Phoenix Rising Amethyst to pull out a 2-0 victory in that one. So this should be a good matchup between Mosley and Deep Fried Ming Balls coming up on Thursday, and then Friday, I'm still deciding if I'm going to do another replay cast or not. So that is going to be it for me tonight. Let me check real quick, see if anybody else is still streaming. And if they are, I can send us over. Whoa, you don't want to hear me twice. I don't know why that happened, but it looks like, oh, yes. Oh, Jinxie's got a fantastic matchup. I'm sending you guys all to Jinxie. I wanted to watch this one so bad. So we're going over to Jinxie Cat. I got to make sure I spell her name right. Hopefully that thing is still going because I absolutely love the matchup that she has going on right now. Hopefully it's not the end. Let me make sure I get her. No, it can't be the end. This is an epic matchup in Division D West. Clouded Minds against TRSG Knights. All right. We're rating Jinxie Cat, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a great match. If you've got a few extra minutes, I definitely recommend going over there. But that is it for me tonight. Have a fantastic night, everybody. I hope to see you tomorrow, or sorry, not tomorrow night, Thursday night for that Division E matchup. Take care, all.